Good morning. It is a fabulous Friday morning and I'm alone. Oh my gosh. The kids are away at school. I'm at home working from home today, so I'm going to be doing a little bit of work. And I guess today is also a vlog day since I decided to pull the camera out. So we're going to try and vlog. So like I said, work, going to do a little bit of that. First off though, I'm going to make myself some coffee. Then I'm going to throw laundry in because I have stripped all of our beds and I want to get all the bedding cleaned and ready. I actually keep like a couple sets of bedding. So what I do is I just strip, put the new sheets on, and then I wash the old sheets and then have those ready to go for the next time we change them out. You know, like every 2 weeks is usually the cycle I do. I know some people like to do it more often, but 2 weeks is fine because we have so much else going on here. Otherwise it just won't get done weekly. It's just one of those things you have to live with. And yeah, otherwise I probably think I'll talk about some books that I've been reading recently and enjoying a lot. So I think that's it for right now. So let's go ahead and just get the vlog started and see where it takes us. I hope you enjoy. Again. I can't figure out where I can stand. There we go. Okay, maybe you can hear me. Hopefully you can hear me well. Anyway, this is my living room, and it's a wreck because I really didn't pick up after my kids at all this week. So now I'm going to tidy up in here. And also it's just a rainy, horrible, messy day outside, which is awesome, actually, because I like rainy, horrible, messy days. So, yeah. So I'm just gonna start cleaning up and enjoy my coffee while I'm kind of tidying up, and then we're gonna get the vacuum started. Yay! I have to admit, this little dragon is a 3D printed dragon. It's got to be the coolest toy ever. We never had toys like this as kids. I just think it's so cool. Woo! Thunder! Thunder and lightning. Oh, I need to show you guys these. I'll sit down with the camera and show you guys these things in a second. This is not Pottery Barn. I'm not spending money on Pottery Barn pumpkins, that's for sure. And of course, the dog toys, the fetch stick, the chew toys, squeaker toys, chew bones, bones that have just been chewed to death. The dog's soccer ball. So anyway, not only is it children's toys, but it's also dog toys everywhere. Isn't that right, Rufus? Isn't that right, Rufus? Come here. No? You're not going to jump up? Okay. He's not going to jump up. All right, well, I guess we're done tidying for the moment, and then I'll get the vacuum started. I'm back. Pumpkins. Man, I've been seeing pumpkins everywhere. It's been a little bit crazy the amount of pumpkin decor I've been seeing in the stores lately. And I'm a cheapskate, so I always think, oh, I'm just going to make my own. Anyway, I made this one. I basically just crocheted a big rectangle of fabric. You can find all kinds of patterns of just a crochet stitch. So basically you just find one that you like and then just make a giant rectangle. Sew the tops and the side together. Take the tops and pull them together so that they, you know, come in all in one place. Do the same on the bottom. And before you close it up, completely stuff it with just whatever stuffing you have. Then you take yarn or jute string or whatever and you wrap it around the pumpkin itself, like the ball that you have, to form it into a pumpkin shape. What I do suggest you do, instead of like tying it off at the top, actually go through the inside of the material, or I want to call it a pillowcase almost, you know, whatever you're using, go through the center and back around and just kind of wrap it that way. I think it's way more secure that way. So this is like one of the ones I made. I need to finish making a stem. I can't think of the word. I need to finish making a stem for this one. But once that stem is finished, it's all done and cute. And it's so soft and fluffy, and my kids just keep stealing this and running away with it and chucking it around at each other because they're having fun with it. So I think it's so cute. And the funny thing is, like, ones this size I've seen at the store, you know, Pottery Barn, they're selling theirs for like $50, which is ridiculous. Target's way more reasonable, but they're smaller. And I think the Dollar Spot like had $3 ones or something, but this is like the perfect size for me. I think it's so cute, and it's just easy to make. It's just a matter of going and getting the supplies and doing it. I maybe spent $30 total on supplies, but that gave me one pumpkin. I already had a lot of stuffing from previous projects, so if you have like stuff lying around too, definitely use that. I had this yarn lying around, and then I had to, what took most of the money was the fabric for this other pumpkin, and I'll show you that. And I don't even think it was $30 exactly, but this fabric, it's like a fuzzy fabric, and I just made this really, really big one with that. Again, just a giant rectangle, cinched together at the top and bottom, stuffed, cinched, sew it up, and then wrap some, I think I wrapped yarn. Yeah, I wrapped that brown yarn around this one. I feel like this one's not as secure because I didn't loop the yarn through the inside of the pumpkin. So I feel like at some point this string is gonna break, but if it does, it's no big deal because I can just redo it. And then I crocheted a little stem for this guy. I think it's like comically small, to be honest. But it still looks like a pumpkin. I mean, I think it looks like a pumpkin. But yeah, I would imagine something this size, you know, this is bigger than a Pottery Barn one. You know, I would imagine they would charge an absolutely ridiculous amount for it, maybe like $80, who knows. But yeah, I think that the fabric for this, because it was on sale, it was like on a 50% off at Joann's. And he sold me the rest of it as selvage too, because, not as selvage as, well, yeah, maybe it was, anyway, the leftovers basically, and that was like 75% off. So I want to say it was maybe around $12 or so. And then I had most of the other stuff. But I spent the other money at Joann's on other stuff. Because whenever I go to Joann's, I can't say no. That's a big problem with me. What else did I buy at Joann's that day? Oh, glue. For some reason, Gorilla Glue is always expensive. That was like $12 on its own too. Yeah, I needed a new thing of Gorilla Glue, that's right. I didn't really buy much at all, but it always surprises me how quickly the money goes whenever you spending it at a store. It adds up and it adds up, and the next thing you know is like you've spent $100 that you never really intended to spend. So anyway, I just thought I'd share my little crafty adventure. If you know how to make stuff, you can make cute little pumpkins as Halloween decor or as fall decor around the house. I'm not really a big decorator, to be honest, but I have put up a couple of little small things around the house, and I thought the pumpkins would be really cute because, like I said, the children can chuck them at each other all day long, and if they get messed up, then that's okay. I can just fix them anyway. I fix everything around this house, I feel like. Kids tearing up clothes, I sew them up. Kids tearing up their toys, I sew those up. You know, I'm just constantly fixing everything that's plushy or made out of fabric in this house. It's sad. I've even sewn up, made repairs to old sheets and things just because I don't want to take the time or the effort or the money to go out and purchase new sheets sometimes. Sometimes I feel like it's just easier to patch it up and move on with your life, and up until things are so ratty that you just can't anymore. And then eventually those old sheets end up becoming, rags that you use around the house for other things. So, I mean, it's a cycle. It's a good cycle though. And I've been doing it forever. My mother did it before me, and her mother did it way before her, and her mother would keep everything because there would be a use for everything. Yeah. I'm glad I don't have that inclination because then there would be junk all over this house all the time. But yeah, I remember my grandmother on my father's side also, she'd keep everything too. But they had a purpose for that. It was, you never know. They might not have it at the store one day and you need to still have it. So you keep it. I don't know. Anyway, I'm rambling on at this point. I think what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get the vacuum started. I watered plants the other day, so I don't need to water plants today. Laundry is going. I need to do dishes. That's one thing, but I need to wait on the dishes for a bit. So yeah, I'm going to get the vacuum started, and then I'm going to go sit down and actually do my job work and see if I can actually get some progress done on a project I need to speak to some people about on Monday. So good stuff there. Oh yeah, one other thing. I think I've got to go do a little bit of grocery shopping. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get out and do it today, though, or not. Definitely tomorrow. So the grocery shopping might not end up being in this vlog, but I am for sure going to go get some sushi for lunch today because I haven't had sushi in weeks. I haven't really treated myself to sitting out and eating in a long time, and I really want to go do it. But I may end up swinging by the grocery store on the way back. I think it just depends on how much work I get done. So anyway, bye again. I wanted to add that in just in case we end up going to go get sushi and you're like, what the heck is going on here? She didn't say anything about going to lunch, but I'm going to go to lunch today. So there we go. Bye. I'm back again. Hello. Just checking in on the day so far. I've gotten a lot of laundry done. I got a lot of work done too, actually, which is fantastic. So I am set for success for Monday, it looks like, which is always a bonus. And I went to go eat some lunch. Unfortunately, the sushi joint that I normally go to closes at 1:30 on Fridays, and then they open back up again at like 3 o'clock. I guess it's to take a break, which is fine, whatever. But I was so like running behind, and I had been doing laundry and working and stuff like that I didn't actually get out of the house until like 1:15, and then I looked them up just to see. And yeah, of course, they close at 1:30. So instead, I went ahead and went over to a Mediterranean place that's pretty close to there, and just got a falafel sandwich, which is just delicious. It is so good. Fantastic falafel from there. But I was really wanting sushi. So anyway, next week at some point I will probably get sushi. My schedule's a little bit mixed up next week because I have to help some folks out at the office on Monday. So it's going to be a little bit of a different week for me next week. But no huge deal about that. I was just really wanting sushi, and I may end up getting sushi at some point this weekend too. Who knows? So I thought I would talk about some of the books I've been reading this month. So let me see here where to begin. I started out the month with The Phantom of the Opera. Really good book. I enjoyed The Phantom of the Opera a lot. Just classic, I don't know, classic storytelling, classic adventure, mystery. You know, it had a lot of vibes, a lot of atmosphere. The Phantom of the Opera, and the imagination just runs wild. Gaston Leroux, the original was probably in French, but whomever did the translation for it was very, very good, and I enjoyed it immensely. I was very familiar with the Phantom of the Opera story in any case, but I still really liked it. It was more than the Andrew Lloyd Webber production, for sure. Had more to it, but it was still interesting enough, the actual full story itself, that I almost feel like, more could have been added to the actual production of the Phantom of the Opera, and it still would have been just as good. It would have been way longer, but it would have been still just as good. So, enjoyed that a lot. I think I'd give it like a 4 or 4.5-ish maybe. Was not like blow me away, absolutely fantastic, I must read this again, it's my life. Nothing like that. The Phantom of the Opera is never really going to be my life. Some people really love the Phantom of the Opera, though, I have to say. But still, I enjoyed it a lot. And I don't know, I probably won't read it again in the future, unless I'm, for some reason, really wanting atmosphere, or spooky atmosphere. But it is the perfect book. It is the perfect book for Halloween and fall and October and all of that. So that was really good. Bunny. Oh my gosh, Bunny. This book is insane. It goes from fairly normal to batshit crazy really fast. There seems to be, it's never like explicitly said what drugs are being used, but there is some drug or drug use involved, but it is like just mental craziness, mental euphoria. There's people forgetting like months of time going by, people getting kidnapped and taken into basically a cult, and just insane. The whole book is insane. I can't explain it very well. I'm not giving it justice. It is a little bit funny in parts, that I thought it was hilarious in some parts, especially the way that the girly girls, I'll call them, really the bunnies, how they spoke to one another. It can be a little bit irritating at first, but when you kind of let go of that and you get into it, it's kind of funny. And you're understanding what they're talking about and what they're saying when they're talking to each other and calling each other bunny all the time. It is just an interesting novel. I've never seen anything like it. Mona Awad has done something here that is just insane. It's like graduate student Alice in Wonderland going down the rabbit hole, and a lot of that imagery, a lot of symbolism is in the work itself. I think there were even a couple of Shakespeare quotes. There was, just a lot of really interesting stuff. A lot of times the girls, the bunnies, being, English grad students, and I think it was like a creative writing degree they were all going after, but they kind of would use really high level terms And I sometimes would giggle because I was like, I don't think a girl like that would use terminology like that in my mind, but it was interesting to see, you know, this overly educated girls who were also like super feminine, super feminized girly girls, fluffy, ruffles, lace, you know, that kind of thing. It just was really cutesy and funny. And just kind of interesting. So if you're looking for something that's really weird, really out of the ordinary, really horrifying in some places, kind of scary, I would definitely check out Bunny. I actually wish that I had read this in the month of October because it was actually pretty scary and pretty horrifying in some ways. And I was reading some bits of it and going, oh no, please don't do that. Please don't do that. My mind is not prepared for something like that to happen right now. Please don't do that. But, you know, it was an interesting tale. I still enjoyed it, you know. And actually it didn't go so far that I was like, oh God, I can't do this, turn back now. So it was good. I enjoyed Bunny a lot. I gave it a 4.5 because I just thought it was very interesting, very different. And I think I would like to read it again at some point in the future, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But definitely dark in some ways. So if you're looking for weird, creepy, dark, kind of horror-y aspects to it, then definitely check out Bunny. After that, I was a little disappointed, man. I listened to the London Seance Society. That book was a dud. I mean, at least to me, it was a dud. Looking at the description of the book, and it was about ghosts and seances and, you know, talking to the victims of murder after they have deceased, trying to solve crimes, mysteries, that kind of thing. You would have thought, now, oh my gosh, this book is going to be exuding, you know, atmosphere, just dripping with vibes. And it's supposed to happen in the Victorian era. There were no descriptions in this book. Like, maybe it went right over my head. Maybe I missed it. I don't know. But there was nothing in the book other than them saying, we're in Paris, we're in London, we're in a village outside of London. But there was nothing, there was no descriptions of the setting itself that lended anything to the atmosphere. Now, maybe there was one or two things said about, oh, we're in a horse carriage, oh, we're in, you know, a brick-walled room with no windows and yada, yada, yada. But it wasn't tangible to me. I didn't feel like I was there. It didn't grab my attention in that way, which I felt like it just really flopped in that regard. Other than that, the story was kind of boring, too. There was a sapphic relationship in it, which was fine, done perfectly fine. I do enjoy reading about, you know, other relationships between people. I find it fascinating. But even the sapphic relationship was kind of boring. There were heterosexual relationships in it as well. Those were not exciting either. None of it was very exciting to me. I was looking for something exciting when I picked up this book, hoping it would be really good, but it just wasn't exciting at all. And I kept going with it, thinking that it was going to pick up and that it was going to move on and that it would become more and more interesting, but it really didn't. So maybe I wasn't in the right mind for it, but London Seance Society, I gave it 2 stars because it was just not good. I just didn't enjoy it. The writing was a little annoying too. And I don't know if that was the fault of the narrator of this book or if it was actually the fault of the writer, because I didn't actually look at the written page. So I don't know. But I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it. London Seance Society. So after the London Seance Society, I was kind of looking around for something because I was still in that darkish mood from Bunny. And I picked up If We Were Villains. And I've just recently started that. And I don't know, maybe about 20% through it now. I'm enjoying If We Were Villains a lot. There are 7 characters that are students. And they are in a theater. They're They're going to college for theater. That's what's going on in the book. And it is specifically Shakespeare, which I'm digging. I am digging the Shakespeare. I am digging the quotes. I am digging, the characters describing the different plays and their take on it and their take on the Shakespearean characters and how they would play the characters and things like that. So it is kind of a fun book right now. It's If We Were Villains. And I'm looking forward. I'm really looking forward to reading the rest of that. So hopefully it won't disappoint me. The other book I picked up because it has been a really long time since I read any kind of historical fiction. And I'm in the mood for a historical fiction. So I picked up Wolf Hall. And what's really funny is that I was reading Wolf Hall a little bit. And I don't know, I think maybe got 2 chapters into it. And I had borrowed it from the library initially in electronic form. And then I was thinking to myself, I really want to get this in physical form because I would like to actually have it in my hands and read it. And then I go to the thrift store today, right before this video, and I found Wolf Hall sitting there for $2. I couldn't pass it up at all. And I'm so excited because now I can take my time with it now. I don't have to worry about returning it in the next 15 days, which is what I have left on Wolf Hall. And I know I won't be able to finish it in 15 days. So now at least I have the physical copy of Wolf Hall, and I can return the electronic copy early because I don't want to keep it if somebody else is interested in reading it, which I think that there was at least one more hold after me, so I'll release it. But yeah, I just thought that was very serendipitous. It's described as really atmospheric. It won the Booker Prize, the Man Booker Prize. And I have read so many different Tudor accounts. I have read historical fiction from Philippa Gregory, pretty much all of the Tudors, all the Henry VIII court, everything to do with Elizabeth I, anything that she's put out with that. And then also just a bunch of other Elizabeth I, Elizabeth I biographies. I've read, I've read just a lot about the Tudors and the Tudor court, but I've never read anything about Cromwell, who was a very influential part of the Tudor dynasty, and I thought that it'd be interesting to read a story from Cromwell's perspective. So really looking forward to this. I'm hoping it's dark. I'm hoping it's dreary. I'm hoping it's super atmospheric. I think that a novel like this is perfect because Henry VIII's court came right out of the end of the medieval period into the early Renaissance for England. And we're still in kind of this dark age as far as, Henry VIII's court is concerned. There's a lot of intrigue. There is a lot of superstition here. Of course, we all know what happened to Henry VIII's poor wives. Catherine of Aragon. I always forget this. How does it go? This is the only way I can remember all of them, too. Divorced, beheaded, died. Divorced, beheaded, survived. And, it's really funny, but, all of those things that went on, Anne Boleyn, Catherine of Aragon, I don't think that this goes beyond the execution of Anne Boleyn. I think that that's the next part. Yeah, I think that that is the next book, which is Bring Up the Bodies. And God knows what happens in Bring Up the Bodies after the death of Anne Boleyn, and then Henry marrying all these different wives, and some of the horrible things that happened to them. But yeah, so what could be darker? What could be darker and more atmospheric than the court of Henry VIII? So that's where my mind is right now. Really looking forward to that. So yeah, I'm so happy I got this. So now I don't have to rush. I don't have to rush at all. I can savor this, and it'll be great. And then I think the last bits that I wanted to talk about was some manhwa, not manga, but manhwa. I read the Villains Are Destined to Die series. I decided to continue reading those, and I found I can read them online. Very easy to read them online, and was happy to do that. So I have read through what I can determine the first 3 collections of it. So the first 3 sets of chapters, the first 3 compendiums, we'll call them, and they're good so far, and I'm enjoying it thoroughly, and I'm well on my way to finishing the 4th book in the series so far, and they're quick, they're good, they're colorful, I enjoy them so much, and it's just nice to sit down, relax, and read a comic book. Why not? It's great. So that's what I'm reading right now. I don't really have much else to say, I think. Oh, yes! How could I forget? I am listening to one other book, and that is The Serpent and the Wings of Night. And it's pretty decent so far. There's a lot of fighting in the beginning, and a lot of, establishing characters, establishing relationships with other characters. There's not any romance, at all yet, and I'm, at least 40% through. I think I'm about 40% through now, and there's none. There's no romance. It's all fighting. It's all kind of horror. It's all, trials. It's a giant trial kind of a book, which I'm fine with, but I kind of want the romance element to start coming in here. We're not even, usually the romance elements start coming in about halfway through or a little bit earlier, and there's nothing. There is nothing yet. So I'm like, well, this is what I came to this book for, was some romance and maybe a bit of smut. Where is it? So hopefully it will fall into place soon. But I'm kind of listening to it while I'm working and while I'm driving, and maybe doing dishes around the house and stuff like that. So it's not like I'm super invested and I have to listen to it constantly. I'm just kind of touching and going on it. So anyway, but that's it. That's everything so far, and we'll keep going on with this. And I don't know what else is really going on today. I gotta go pick up the kids and go get McDonald's. And then I think that's the end of my day. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. So, yeah. I'm gonna go get my kids. Bye. Hello. I'm gonna wrap this up really quick. I finished the pumpkin today completely. I gave it a nice little stem, because I was like, I need to finish this up really quickly, and it's not stuffed or anything, so you can kind of fold it and shape it however you want at the time. I think that's kind of a fun element. So anyway, that is that. I will link down below better instructions on how to make something like this. I know that a few different tutorials exist out there on YouTube, so I will go ahead and try to link those below for you guys if you want to make your own pumpkin, because it's fun. Anyway, I'm going to bed. I'm going to be reading some more Wolf Hall and going to bed. Again, I'm so freaking happy I found this. It was serendipitous. I'll have to say, it's just serendipitous. I find these things exactly when I need them. It's fantastic. I love Goodwill. So that is all for now. I hope that you guys enjoyed this vlog, and I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.